everyone, welcome to another day in the 100 days graphic design challenge with Xpress-Pixels. We are so excited. Hope you are very happy and much excited like us. Today this is week 6 and we are designing covers this week. So without wasting much of your time, I'm just going to put my sizes. I'm using 980 as the width, and for the height I'm going to be using 1358. Okay, so this is it. I'll just click create. So here is what we have. The first thing I'm going to do is to head over to my resources. I will just bring in the resources I need for this particular design. So I just click on my book resources here, and then I'm just going to keep this way. Okay, this is what we are using for this design. I will drag it and drop it into Photoshop. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, enter. So this is what we have. The next thing I'm going to do is to close up the eyes of someone that I will not be using now. So I'll just close the eyes of this one, and then I'll just give this a black color. I'll give it black. Okay, now we have this image. I'll just click on this image. You head over to my filter, and I'm going to use my camera raw filter. This is it. So I'll just click on it, and I'm going to wait for it to load. Okay, so now that it has loaded up, I'm just going to increase the contrast, and then I'll reduce the blacks to 100, and I'll increase the whites a bit. I'll reduce the texture to smoothing the image, and then I'm just going to give it a dehaze. Too much. After that, I'll just click OK. Basically, this is what we have. I'll just reduce this. I want it to be at the edge. I'll bring it this way, and I'll increase it a little bit more, not too much. So I'll just hit enter. So this is what we have. I'll just click on this. Know that the sharp edges is not visible, but I will just I'll just click here, and I will change this to this. I will reduce this. I'm using my square bracket to reduce it. I'm just going to clean off this part, although it's not that visible because it's blending with the black background, but I'll just clean it up. Okay, so this is what we have. If you look here, you can see that you can see something here. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do very quickly, I open up the eyes of this image. I bring it up forward. I will just click my select, and then I'm going to use subject. This is it. I'm going to wait for it to select the subject. Okay, now that I've selected the subject, I'm just going to click here, and we have this. So I'll just reduce this way. I'll bring it here. I'll increase it a bit, not too much. Bring it here, and I'll hit enter. Okay, so basically this is what we have. I'm just going to head over to my filters, camera raw filter, and I'm going to edit this image a bit, not too much. So I'll just wait for it to load. Okay, oh sorry. So I'm just going to click here. You see this, it was clicked, so I'll just click on this one, then filter, and then camera raw filter, or you can use your Shift Ctrl A on your keyboard. I'll wait for it to load. Okay, this is it. So I'm just going to touch the blacks here. It's not too much, and then I'll touch the whites a bit. It's not too much. The haze as well. Clarity. Texture, then I'll just touch the contrast, and then after that I'm just going to hit OK. So this is what we have here. So the next thing I'm going to do is to erase. I'll click here, and I'll use my brush tool. I just want to erase those edges. As you can see them, I'll just erase them, although it's not visible, but then I'm just going to erase these a bit. Okay, so this is what we have. So after that, the next thing I'll do is to bring up this image. So I'll just take it down like this. and I just want to use my tool. Let me head over to this, and then I'll just select this particular point. I'll just select this, and I'll just click this. So basically this is what we have. Then I'll bring this down. I really don't want it to be visible too much, so I'll just take it down like this, bring it this way. Okay, increase this way, bring this down a little bit more. I don't want it to be too visible, so I'll hit enter. Then the next thing I'll do is to edit this image. Before then, I'll just right click and I'll convert to smart object. So I'll just go over to filter, camera raw filter. I'll wait for it to load. Okay, it's still loading. This is what we have. It's loaded, so I'm just going to reduce the saturation, and then I'll increase the clarity. The texture, I'll reduce it. The haze, I'll just touch on the blacks and touch on the whites, and then I'll hit OK. So basically this is what we have. The next thing I'm going to do is to reduce the opacity. I'll reduce it a bit, not too much. Okay, this is okay. Then I'm just going to click on this. I will click here, and then I'll use my brush tool to remove the edges like this. I'll reduce this, and then I'll just click this. I'll increase the flow to 100, increase this, and then I'll just do it this way. Okay, so this is what we have. I'm just going to drop my tool. Okay, we have this here, not too visible. Don't want it to be too visible, so I'll just drop my tool. Now the next thing I'll do is to start adding my text. So first of all, I'm just going to add cigarettes. So I'll just type, I'll change this to, I'm using Montserrat, and I'm using wood. Okay, so I'll just reduce the size. I don't want it to be too much. Let me just type my text. I'm just going to type cigarettes. Okay, then I'll just click it, and then I'll bring it here to the middle point here, and I will reduce this. Seems like it's too much. Reduce it like this, and then I'll just head over to my properties. I'll wait for it to load. Okay, I want to add a gradient color to this, so I double click, or I can head over to this FX, and the next thing I'll do, I'll pick my gradient overlay. Okay, let's see. I'm using color EDE. I want that ash kind of color, and then for this one, not white, just off-white a little bit, and then for this one, let's see. Okay, CF. So after that, I'm just going to click OK. See my angle, linear. I'll click OK. And the next thing I'll do is to hold my Alt, drag, drop, and I'm going to write AND. I will just select this like this, and then I'll head over to this place, and I'm going to change it to medium, and I will reduce the size. I don't want it to be too much, just a little bit. Let's see. Okay, this is okay, and I'm just going to type Ballet. So I'll just drag this, then I'll write BALLT. Okay, I'll just move this, and then I'll head over to my text tool, and I'm using erotis. This is it. I'll click on it and then I'll just increase this like this, not too much. I'll drop my tool like this and then I'll just bring this here. I will change the color. I'll hide this effect. Head over to my properties. I'll change this color. Okay, I have my color here, FED2E9. So I'll just click on it. This is what we have, and I'll click OK. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add the name of the artist, or better still the author rather, sorry. So I'm just going to type XYLARA. Please note, these books, we don't know if they're real, we don't know if they're not real. We just see online and we decide to, you know, pick it and design. So I'm just going to fill a semi build and then enter. I'll give it a color. I don't like this color, so I'll just Ctrl V my color, FED2E9. Okay, I head over to layers. It's not showing, so I'll just close up the eyes of this image. So this is what we have. We have XELARA. I really don't know how to pronounce it. I beg your pardon. So I'm just going to head over to properties. This is it, and then I will just enter. Then I will just not too much bits. This is okay. So after that, I'm just going to drag this and drop it here. And then the next thing I'll do is to add my text beneath. I'm just going to add a text beneath, a text that says, okay, let me just duplicate this one. A text that says a high school dark romance. This is it. This is what we have here. So I'm just going to change the color. I will just use arch to white, just off white. And then I see that this is too much, so I'll just reduce this. Okay, that's too much. Before then, I'll just reduce the size of my text this way. I'll just reduce this, not too much. I'll bring it here, and then let me just zoom out, or better still zoom in. Okay, so I'm just going to take this to medium, or better still regular, and then I will reduce this. I don't want it to be too much. I'll reduce this. I'll bring it here, hit enter. I think the spacing in between the text, okay, so it's fine. So I'm just going to increase this, not too much. It is okay. I'll bring it down. I'll just reduce it a bit more. Enter. And for this one, I'm going to reduce it so that it stops where the XYLA stops and starts where it starts. So I'm just going to bring this here. I'll reduce it a bit more, not too much. Okay, I'll just hit enter. So this is what we have here. Then the next thing I'm going to write is I'll just write one more text, but before then I'll just bring this down a little bit. Okay, this is fine. So enter. I click on this. I use my Alt. I drag. Okay, up to this point, and I'm going to type love is danger. Enter. Obsession is death. Enter. Mine is books. Oh, that's scary. Okay, mine is beyond. Oh my gosh, mine is beyond. So this is what we have. I'm just going to do this. and I'm going to change the text. I want to use Times New Roman for this, so I head over to Times New Roman, I click on it. Okay, this is what we have. So I'll just adjust this to be here. Okay, I think with that we are done with the front cover. Let me fit screen. Let's see what we have done so far. So I'll just bring this here, I'll increase this a bit, not too much anyways, just a little bit, drop it here, enter. Okay, are they centralized? I will just click my cigarettes, ballets, control this, I'll click this, control this, and then I'm holding my control and I'll click cigarettes, control this, and I'm going to click Ctrl G to group. I'll right click here and I will convert to smart object. Here is it. And for this one, I'll click here and I'll click a high school forever, and then I'm going to click Ctrl G and I'll right click and I'll convert to smart object. Okay, so this is it. Now the next thing I want to do is to align it to make sure everything is aligned. So I click my background, I click it with group 1, and I'll just click here. Let's see. Okay, it's aligned. Now let me click my group 1 and I'll click it with group 2 and I'll click here. Okay, and I'm going to click my group 2 and then I'll just look for X love is danger, mine is beyond. I'll click this. So basically we have gotten the alignment, and the next thing I want to do is to rename this image. I'll just call it cigarettes. Then for this one I'll just call it Ziala. Okay, this is what we have. Next thing I'll do is to click my Shift Ctrl Alt E. I'll head over to my filter. This is the layer here, screenshot, Shift Ctrl Alt E. Then I'll head over to my camera raw filter. Okay, it's loading. I'll wait for it. Okay, so now it has loaded. I just wanted to change the color. I'll use this and I'll use this. Okay, not too much. I don't want it to be too much. -40 is okay for this. And this, let's see this one. Okay, let's just use this side. You can pick any one of your choice. So I'll just leave it at this, and then I'll just touch on the haze a bit, not too much, not too much blacks. Texture a bit. I don't want it to be too sharp. Then I'll just touch on all this, and then I'll just click OK. So basically this is what we have, and then I'm just going to save. I'll click my Shift Ctrl S to save. So I'm just going to change this to cigarette front cover. So we'll be designing 3 covers: the front cover, the back cover, and then we'll design the spine. But in our subsequent designs, we'll just be doing probably the front, and then be at another design we just do both. So now that I've done this, the next thing I'll do, I want to do the back cover. So I have closed the eyes of this image. Now the next thing I'll do is I have this. What do you think it's always in the back cover? I'll just click this and I'll click Control this, and I'll click Control this, remove this one, Control G. Okay, and my background, I want to leave it here. What I'm going to do is to bring in this, I'm just going to reduce the opacity because I want to add some text on the background here. So I will just delete this smart filter. I'm going to add them later on. I'll add all of them together. So I'll just close the eyes. This is what we have. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in my text. I want to add something about the book. So I head over to this place and I just draw like this. Okay, this is what we have. I'll just reduce this. I don't want it to be too much. And then I'll change the font to medium. I'll head over to type and I'll click paste Roll'em Epson. Okay, now it has pasted a lot of text for me. I think this is too bold. I will just use regular. This is what we have. And then the next thing I'm going to do I'm going to head over to properties, and then I'll just arrange this. I'll arrange the size. I'll use this. Okay, and the next thing I'm also going to do is to reduce this. I think it's looking too spaced out. I'll leave that 0 is fine. And I'll just bring in my ruler because I'm trying to maintain something. I'm trying to maintain my alignment. So I bring this here. This is just about the book, and I drop it here. Then the next thing I'm going to write is about the author. So I just use my rectangle tool, drag it here, and then I will change the color to white. Okay, it's already in white, so I'm just going to remove the stroke. I don't want a stroke. I'll bring this down. I'll click here. I'll click on this. I'll bring this down to this point. So this is what we have. And the next thing I'm going to write is to write about the author. Okay, I'm just going to type look about the okay. I'll just use my backspace, and then I'll type about the author. Okay, I'll drop this. So I'm just going to change this to medium. Better still, I can leave it at okay. No, let's go with medium. I'll just increase this a bit. I don't want it to be too much, just a little bit. I'll bring it here, this place, and then the next thing I'll do is to add my author. Yeah, my author, the picture of my author. Look at that image. I bring it here, take it forward. This is what we have. I bring in my rectangle. I drag, not too much, just a little bit. I hold on to this place and I touch this. Then I head over to this place, remove the stroke. Okay, better still, I give it a white stroke, and then I change this to 3. Enter. Okay, so I click on this image, head back to layers, and I bring this image on top of it, and I'll reduce this image this way. I bring it here, enter, right click, create clipping mask. This is what we have. I'll just rotate this a bit because it's seeming like, let me zoom in. Okay, this is what we have. So I'll just bring this. This is not the author for the book. I don't even know whether the book is in existence, but as we have said before, these designs are only just for design purposes. Whether it's real or not, we really don't know. So I'm trying to adjust this. Enter. So this is what we have basically. Let me shift this little. Okay, so we have this. I click on this, Control G to group, right click, convert to smart objects. This is what we have. So I'll just drag this. I will Control T, drag. I'll just drop it here. I'll shift this to be this way, and then I'll just hit enter. And the next thing I'm going to do, I want to add the auto. So I want to add about the auto, like I want to add some little right up. So I'll just right click, and then from here I'll erase, and then I'll just drag it up. Okay, I erased it, added. Okay, I'll just drop this, bring this down. I'll click, bring in my text tool. Make sure it's on text tool while you are doing this. So I'll just reduce this, and then I will just drag this way so that I can get the alignment. I'll bring this here. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'll just increase this so that it touches my line, just the way this one is touching. Enter. I'll increase it a bit more. Too much. Enter. So I'll just shift it. Okay. So this is what we have. I'll just bring them. I'll take my group up like this. We'll click on the rectangle. Use my shift, drag it down a bit, enter. I'll just click Ctrl S. So I will head back to my group. No, not this one. Okay, so I'm just going to shift it. Okay, I'll click on it again, and I'll shift it. So this is what we have here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to add my ISBN number. I will just bring in a rectangle here, and then I'm just going to type a random number. So I'll just type I'll just use this Alt, bring this here, then I'm just going to double click, and I'll type a random number. I'll just say I /S-B-10, and I'll just type random 1-977 whatever dash. Okay, dash 3. Okay, so this is what I have. Before I change this, I'll just double click this and keep this here. I'm going to use it for something else. So there's a font called Barcode. When you head over to the font, it's a website, thefont.com. You can search for barcode generator. I have mine here, so I just click on it. This is the one I want to use. Okay, it's behind. Head back to my layers, drag it forward this way. This is what we have, and then I'm just going to reduce this. Let me increase this. Okay, that takes the shape of this. Enter. So this is what we have. Now the next thing I'm going to do, the last thing I'm going to do, I'll just click here, and then I'm just going to say purchase. Okay, I'll just keep it caps lock. Purchase for 100 USD. Enter. At Los Angeles store. This is what I have. So I'm just going to drop this. Then first thing I'll do to reduce the size. Okay, I'll bring it inside. Oh, sorry. Ctrl Z. I'll click on this again, and then I'll just reduce the size. Then I'll bring it in. So after I've reduced the size, I'm just going to reduce the space in between. So I click here, and then I'll reduce this way, and then I want to use click this one. So this is what we have. Then I'll just adjust this. I'll make sure it's at the edge. So this is what we have. I'll just fit screen. Now that we are done with the back, I'll just click my Shift Ctrl Alt E, and then I'm going to head over to layers. I have the back. This is it. I head over to filters, and I click camera raw filter to adjust. So I'll wait for it to load up. So now that it has loaded up, I'm just going to do the same thing I did for others. Is it working? Let's see. I'll just click OK. Okay, so basically this is what we have. This ISBN number, I'll bring this forward because I don't want it to be affected, so I'll just take it forward. Let me bring my image forward. This and this. Okay, here's my image. This is it. So I'll just take it forward because I don't want it to be affected. Okay, so this is basically what we have. And then my text, I'm going to bring it forward. So let me look for my text. This, Ctrl G together with this rectangle. I'll bring it forward. I'm bringing it forward above this image because I don't want it's just like I just want only the background to have it. So this is what we have, and with that we have come to the end of design for the back cover. Then the last one I want to design is the spine. Now the spine has a different, so I'm not going to save this. Shift Ctrl S. I'll save this. I'm going to save it as cigarettes. I would save it back. So I'm just going to type back, and then I will take this to JPEG and I'll click save. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to do is head over to file, new. I want to design the spine, so I will change this. I'm using 242 and I'm using 1358, and I'll just click create. I want to design the spine. The spine of a big cover is that particular edge between the front cover and then the back cover. So I head over to this. Or better still, I can just design it here, this place, because I already have everything that I need for it. So I'll just close up the eyes of most of all this. I don't need all this. I'll close up their eyes. I'm not even sure I need the background, so I'm just going to close up. I need this cigarettes and ballet, and I need Ciela. So I'll just open up the eyes of this, and then for this my image, this is it. I can just click it with my background, and maybe I'll just add filter to it. I'll just click on this and I'll add a filter, and I'll use camera raw filter. I'll wait for it to load up. Okay, it's loading. So I'll just touch this and I'll touch this and we are good. Okay, so I'll just hit OK. Mind you, you can do this in the second in the back cover if you didn't really want to, you know. Okay, so this is what we have here. So I'm just going to reduce the size. I'll head over to image, canvas size, and I'm going to use 242 as the width while the height remains the same. Now this particular design, the cover I'm using is just for is the size of the what do we call it, the mock-up, the size of the mock-up. So I click on my Xeala, Ctrl T, I head over to this place, 90, bring it here, enter, I head over to cigarette, here is it, and then I'll just click Ctrl T, I head over to this place and I'll click 90, bring this here. So I'm just going to reduce this a bit, not too much. So this is what we have, enter. Now we have the spine, shift Ctrl S to save. I'll take this to JPEG and I'm going to call this cigarette spine. Save. Okay, so now we have all this. Very quickly I'll close this and I'll close this, I'll close it, I'll close this one. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in my mockup. I'm using this, double click to open. Okay, so this is what we have. I open up this, you can see everything you want, everything that is on this image, you can see it here. So I click here, I double click, this is the back. So I head over to my downloads where I have my cigarettes back. I drag it into my Photoshop and I drop it here. Now the size is going to be exact because I'm using the same size of the mockup. I check the size and that's what I used for my design. This is what we have, and I'll hit enter. Ctrl S to apply. I'll wait for it. I head back to my image. Okay, this is what we have. Then the next thing I'll do is to click on this. This is the spine. I want to add the front cover. Very quickly I head over to this place, front cover. This is it. I bring it into Photoshop, I drop it like this, and then I'm going to increase this. Now you can delete the background beneath or you can leave it. As you can see, it's not affecting anything, but if you want to delete, you can click on this and you can delete this. I'll click Ctrl S to save. I head over to this place, back to my mockup. You can see that it's there. Then I click on this final one. This is it. I double click on it. This is what we have. So I head back to my downloads where we have the spine. I drag, I drop into Photoshop. I move it this way. I drag this up and I drag this way. As I said before, I have to check up the sizes of the mock-up, of this particular mock-up, so that when I'm designing, if the size is not exact, it will not give you exactly what should be there. So I'll just increase this a little bit more and I'll hit enter, and then I'm just going to press Ctrl S. Then I'll head back to this place. You can see my image here. Okay, let me just touch on this one a bit. The first one, which is the back cover, I'll just increase this a little bit more. I'll take it up a little bit more. I'll just hit enter. I'll bring this down, not too much. Enter. So I'll just delete this. I'll delete it, and then I'll just adjust it. and I'll shift it with my arrow key, enter, and I'm going to press Ctrl S. Okay, I head over to this place. So this is what we have. Now the next thing I want to do is this. I want to look for the light that is shining. Okay, this is the light. So I click on this. I want to reduce the opacity. It's as though it's hiding my image. I think this is okay. Let's leave it at 50. Okay, 56 is fine. I'll just hit enter. Now if you want to edit anything, you can edit. You can see the shadows, you can see the book itself and stuff like that. The last thing I would love to do is to change the background. I just want to use a color here. I don't want it to be too dark. I want it to be a bright color. I think this is okay. So I'll just click OK, and this is what we have. So with that, we have come to the end of this design, and I will see you in the next video. Please do like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.